Now, if you ask me that which software or which ID should I install in my system, definitely I would recommend Anaconda. The reason is it's free, and it come with many useful libraries like Jupyter. In the IDE section, we have seen notebook environment, Jupyter separate, right? But if you use the Anaconda, you can easily get that in Anaconda itself, right? So let me show you the Anaconda libraries, what are available. If you can see, there are lots of application already there, like your Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code, Spider, your Orange, your R Studio. So many applications are already there. So you need not to install the separate application for separate libraries. Right. If you go to the environment section, you can see it has lots of library which are predefined installed to to use it simply, right? Now you can install it in any of the OS like Windows, like Mac OS, like Linux, any environment you can easily install it. Now the additional advantage of installing Anaconda is, let's say for example, your system is outdated or you are having less memory in your system, right? So you can go with the Miniconda version. Miniconda has a very less size, and to install it is taking very less size in your computer, right? So to get the software, you simply navigate to anaconda.com, and from there you can download your software. Let me show you the Anaconda site. Right, in Anaconda site, simply you navigate and you will get the download section to download your software, right?
Okay, guys, I'll tell you. I'll take up from here, Abhishek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start, a quick round of introduction about myself. Hi guys, I'm Pritam. I'm Pritam Gorain from Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. 2015 pass out, nearly having 5 years of experience in IT industries. Currently working as a tech lead in data science stream, having experience in Python and data analytics field.
So, guys, in order to install Anaconda, let me just share my screen. I have this thing opened over here itself. In order to install Anaconda, it is very simple. Go to your Google part and just write Anaconda. Anaconda download. Then you would reach somehow, I mean, anything which gives you something called Anaconda over here, click on that. The first link specifically. It will take you to some documentation page, or it might lead you to some page like this. Now, over here, once you are reaching this, if you go down, you would find Anaconda for your system, whether you're using Windows or Mac or Linux, maybe whatever system you are using, whatever system configurations you have, whether it's being 64-bit OS or 32-bit OS, it's based on your configuration. You can download it. It's just a click over there, it will automatically start downloading. Once you start downloading this part, you might be once it is completed, you would be getting something called a file like this, an installer file. Double click on it, something like this. I already have Anaconda installed over there in my system, and after that it is just a simple next. One thing to know, over here if you have a destination folder, it requires a minimum space of 2.7 GB in order to complete the installation. So what I would prefer is to always browse it into your C drive. Like if you have in my system, if you see, If I go to my C drive, I already have a folder named Anaconda created over there. Since in your C drive you would have your maximum space of installations, try to route this to this particular directory. Once you are able to root into this particular directory, select this as your Anaconda installations. Now why we are doing this, what it is going to help me out, these things you will get to know when there will be something called packages being discussed with you guys. We have those things in your advanced part, so that we will be discussing, but as of now just follow this simple step. Once you give this particular see, I already have it installed, so if I give it something like this should be something like this over here for you guys. Then after that it's a simple next, and it eventually will give you the solution. See, if you go for, okay, it is already, for me it is this directory should be empty and I already have it installed. So if I have to create it somewhere else, so what I'll do is I'll just create a new folder, Anaconda 1, and I'll just be selecting this. And after that, if you will click on next, here are two different advanced options which you are getting. Okay, now just select the second one. Okay, for me I'm canceling it because for me Anaconda is already installed in my system, so it will give me an error. Select the second one, don't go for the first one. The reason is because if you wanted to have some other versions of Python, and if you set this Python 3.8 as your path, in that case it is going to give you error every time when you runs your program in some lower environment of Python, in some lower versions of Python. So that's the reason it is not recommended to select the first option. Select the second option, then click on install. It will automatically get installed on your system. uh, we will halt here for some time, maybe for a minute or two, and let me know if you guys have any kind of issues in this.
Pritam,
I'll stop
there is
sharing
one
my screen.
there is one question from Vikram. Can you like check the chat and
So Bikram, I mean, just to give you a brief example, understanding about why do we use IDE is, in order to make your development a more interactive, we use an IDE. There are various features of an IDE, like if you can write a simple Python program into your console applications as well. I mean, like going into your Python console, you can write the applications over there. But instead of that, if you use a, a, a particular IDE, let's say whether it is Anaconda for data science or it is Visual Code for any kind of Python applications, the main reason behind that is you would get an interactive environment, you would get a collaborative environment where you can use that with integration with some other part. You have some code in your GitHub, you can link with your ID. So in this case you need some additional files or additional APIs in order to get installed automatically when your program runs. You can set up those dependency ingestion at the time when you are doing your code. So these things are kind of a flexibility which you will get at the time when you are doing your work in IDE. Hope that makes it clear, right?
Okay.
Guys, I hope anyone does not have any issues over here with your installations, right? We are assuming that if you guys are not installing now, you guys are trying to do it later on, based on your flexibility. Please try to do it. In case of any issues, try to revert us to back. But with the path setting, so Nayan, with your path setting, if it is something like an issue, don't use the path. That's what I've told you. There are two options. First one would be your path, which is given written over there, specifically not recommended, so don't use that one. Second option, it is there to register for Python 3.8, use that.
Okay. So should we continue?
Yeah, Vishek, please continue.
Okay. So, guys, so far we have seen how to install the Anaconda version, but as some of you are facing facing a problem in installing your Anaconda or some other Python IDE, you can simply go to the online editor as well, where you need not to think so much how to install and all. Simply you go to that particular URL and you can simply use it. And the famous one is Colab, which is provided by Google. So let me navigate to that site and let me show you how you can use it, right? So you can see okay. So see, this one is the Colab interface. Here you can simply integrate your Google Drive, your GitHub, and you can upload your code. And simply you open a new notebook, and you can simply write your code and execute it. You need not to think how to write and how to install and all, right? And in Google Colab documentation section also you can have some documentation how to write your code in this section, right? Basically simply you go to this section and let's say for example 2 plus 2 you wanted to know, so 2 plus 2 is 4, right? So it will give simply 4. To execute it will take some time because it is running online. Oh, sorry. Sorry guys, let me share my screen. Should screen is visible? Yep. Okay. Want to print something? You simply write print your hello. You will get your output, right? So to get the output, it will take some time, but that is just for the first time to establish the connection. In the second time, you might get the response with lesser time. So the another one which I used because I prefer to plug in everything in my blog. So sometime I used to if I'm interested to write any piece of code, I can simply go to my blog, and here I have added a plugin where I can simply write the code and simply get, right. So you can use any of the online IDE which are available in internet. You go with that. You just explore as much as you can. But yes, if you have any query related to the installation of software, I would request you post. Definitely, will get back to you.